it's us that are born here that are losing the most. We are at the bottom of the pile because we feel the most comfortable. Every mickle makes a muckle, do you know what I mean? So
The way he says it in a Birmingham accent, every mickle make a muckle.
every mickle make a muckle, yeah. If you live your life in a boring way, when you rap your song telling me your story, I'm probably not going to want to hear it because it's going to be a boring story.
We don't want a boring gal. We don't want a boring wine. Welcome to Make Sense with Melzy, where we make sense of the world we live in through real culture conversations. Now, I've got Mr. Culture in the building today, okay? He's literally like half Yardie, half Birmingham. That's the best way I can describe him. He's an amazing artist from Birmingham, CEO of Made in Brum. And of course, he's working with record labels from Drop Top to Punch Records. And I think we might be losing him soon to Jamaica. So best to catch him now while we can. Please welcome my guest, Rtkal.
Yo, what a intro.
What a go on for you?
There, man. All good. All good. Bless up, Melzy J.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You've got a bit of a tan.
Have I? Have I?
Yeah, well, you light skins could be looking a bit pasty
Yeah,
around
I've
this
been
time.
sat in the sun like this, like, come on, like, do something. You know what I mean?
You've been in Jamaica.
I have.
You've been sunbathing, putting on your SPF.
I've been running up and down. I've been catching a bit of sun, but mostly working, moving about, living, moving. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And your dreads just look amazing today. Not that they don't always look amazing, but
Thank
you know, we respect
The sun's good for us, man. You know, we're melanated beings, you know what I mean? So you put us in the sun, get me that good food, nice vibes, drinking more water, then naturally we're going to thrive, innit?
I feel like if I was to live in Jamaica for a couple of months, like I'd turn into a fatty patty in 3.5 seconds. Because I want to eat everything. I want the ackee and saltfish. I want the rice and peas.
You can't avoid
I want
that.
the breadfruit. I want the mango. I'd be having several meals a day.
Yeah.
And unless I'm walking up and down, which you can't really walk up and down in Jamaica.
Patty sandwich. This is all right then. These are the things that they're feeding people, you know what I mean? A patty and a cocoa bread, them carb on carbs, you know what I mean?
Carb on carb?
Yeah, really.
That's a lot. True. Like Fitness Pal is telling me I'm not supposed to have that much rice on my plate.
Delicious though, isn't it?
It's so nice. I just love Jamaica. When I went to Jamaica, I've only been once. Don't judge me, guys. I can still cook Jamaican food and dance like a Jamaican. So relax. I can't cane right.
Are your family Jamaican? Is that your background?
Yeah.
Both parents?
Both parents, but both parents were born here. So I'm third generation.
Okay.
Technically, third generation or second?
You would be, but your parents are born here?
Yeah.
So you're third generation?
Third generation. Yeah. My family's from Clarendon, Bronzetown.
Nice, yeah.
So that's the part
St.
where
Catherine.
St. Catherine as well. Yeah,
that's where my family is.
You parish them.
Yeah.
So when I went to Jamaica, I went to Ochi.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened. I think it was like my birthday or something like that. And I was like, I've not celebrated my birthday enough. Let me just book a last one. I must have booked a flight for like 500 quid. Couldn't believe it. I was like, Mom, line me up in the hotel. May I come? May I come? Set ready for me. And I must have got to Jamaica and the way the sun just beamed on my skin and all of the greenery, it just
when
made
you jump
me realize,
off the plane, did you get that thing
my gosh,
where you get that rush of heat, humidity, like oxygen, just...
It's just, it's like my body was just going, it's like a software reset.
There was a typo. I have to fix one typo in my intro. The first one I fixed, there was two, which I have to clarify. The first one is I'm half Jamaican, half Bayesian.
Are you?
So my mum is actually from Barbados. And I'm 100% Brummie. I'm half Jamaican, half Bayesian. 100% Brummie, yeah.
So you're a Bayesian boy. Bayesian boy as well.
I can't do a Bayesian accent.
Go on, a Bayesian boy. I can't really do it.
Fortunately or unfortunately, my mum is Bayesian, but she's married to a Jamaican now. My father is a Jamaican. She spends a lot of time in Jamaica, so a lot of the influence that I was around when I was younger was a lot more Jamaican. Though I still got a connection with Barbados still go there regularly. Got family out there, got small business out there as well. Barbados.
You're going to leave us soon, I've got a feeling.
You know, I don't think it's about leaving. I think it's about, for me, a couple of years ago, I went to Gambia I've been to Jamaica a million times. I've been to Barbados a million times, the Caribbean. Obviously, I'm born in England. But I remember going to Gambia in like 2000, it's a while back now. I said a couple of years ago. Probably like 2018, I think it was the first time I went. And I never forget going and having that experience because it felt like I'd completed like the triangle of who I am.
Right.
In the sense of I'm born in England, been to the Caribbean, I know the Caribbean, but essentially I'm African in that sense. It was like I'd completed this thing. And within that, I realized I'm a citizen of all these places.
Of course.
And something that people might necessarily look as negative is actually one of the most positive things ever. I've got a cultural identity in Africa, I have a cultural identity in the Caribbean, and I have a cultural identity definitely in England. So I think it's about moving around and utilizing those spaces and being connected to all of them.
And traveling, I think Africa's definitely
citizen,
next on my list. I think they say that I'm from a shanty town, apparently.
Wow.
And that's what they say. They say I look Ghanaian.
Yeah, Ghanaian, yeah. I can see that.
I can see that too.
You know what's mad? You see, like with Jamaican people, it's so funny. People might take offense to this, but I'm telling you my God's honest truth, yeah. Like, you can look at people, for me now, and you can tell people's genealogy.
Yeah.
Face shape, the way they speak, even like voice and things like that. There's like somebody a Nigerian friend of mine pointed out to me. He said, "Bounty Killer, he's a Igbo." Yeah, and I was like, "What makes you say that?" He went, "His voice, everybody sounds like that." Goes, that voice, everybody has that loud booming. And I thought, so interesting. But yeah, you can trace the genealogy like to a certain extent. I find.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that one day. Definitely.
I'm scared, man.
Me too.
Scared to do it, man.
I know. I'm scared.
I'm like tinfoil hat, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't take my DNA. Like, what are you gonna do with it?
I know. It's like, oh, don't want to do it. So we basically start off every show with what don't make sense and what does make sense.
Yeah.
So for you, what don't make sense to you right now?
What don't make sense?
Yeah.
I'll go for the blanket statement of England.
Let's talk about it.
This is a personal thing where you say what makes sense to me or what doesn't make sense to me right now. I think growing up around here, being born here, watching the changes that I've seen around here, I just find it really interesting that we're in a shifting and pivotal time in England, especially as like a Caribbean person, do you know what I mean? Where as I feel attached to the place, but I don't feel attached to the place also. Yeah.
What do you mean by
changing.
that, like not being attached?
I've got this quote, I say, I've never ever known if I'm British, but I've always been totally sure that I'm Brummie.
I'm almost trying to digest what you said. So you don't see yourself as British, but
I've
you see
never been
yourself
sure.
as Brummie.
Never said that I don't see myself as British. I've never been sure that I'm British, but I'm 1000% sure that I'm Brummie.
You need to explain that article because that don't make sense. Just saying.
I mean, when I say that, I mean that in the sense of, in the grander scheme of things in the country as a British citizen, there's so much things that have made me feel unsure about my security in this place and my belonging, in that sense. But I'd say in the microcosm of my community and the people that we grew up around, the culture that we built for ourselves, the things we do on a day to the way how we survive within this place, I've always felt not only a part of that, but
that's the sense of
an
community
integral
there.
part of that, and
I
an
get
architect of that.
I get
we
that.
own that.
Right.
That's our thing. That has
Right.
nothing to do with
Being British.
Keir Starmer has no understanding
Right.
of what our culture actually is here as the people that define the culture and even impact the economy the way that we do with our culture. And I think that disattachment is what makes me not sure whether I'm British, but at the same time, I'm sure about our culture that we share within this space here.
And I think that's quite interesting because I saw actually a post recently about a guy going around tasting all of the British food.
Yeah.
And
Keith Lee.
Keith something.
Yeah.
And another guy did another
I'm a foodie
video.
as well, you know, so I keep up on them.
I love a food me. And there was another guy that came up and said something along the lines of, you can't class Caribbean food
as British
food, right? Whereas Americans have soul food, which still stems from other countries and being other places. Whereas I think for us, we kind of mix it, blend it. So we might have baked beans, but the baked beans has a little scotch bonnet in it and a little pepper and a little onions. And we'll have it with scrambled eggs, but we're going to have plantain instead of a black pudding. Do you get what I mean? We're going to have ardo bread or dumpling instead of...
It's an ode to our resilience and our ability to adapt in any environment, and working out of saying, all right, we can get this. This reminds us of home, and we can connect it with this, that we can get regular clothes here and try and at the core of that is Jamaican culture. At the core, people that I think, again, the difference between my experience in Britain and my experience in Jamaica is probably more genetically multicultural than England is.
Really?
If you really look at it for what it is, where you've got Chinese people, you've got Indian people, you've got Syrian people, you've got Portuguese, Jewish people, you've got Nigerian people of Nigerian descent, Ghanaian descent, you've got people of Assyrian, East African descent, you've got Maroons, you've got all these, that's 8 different diverse genealogies that I could just name off the top of my mind that but I think the difference is with my experience in Jamaica and my experience in England is, regardless of your race, they're all Jamaican because of the culture in which you share, which creates the patriotism as well. Like, as much as people have their problems, there is a patrioticness of appreciating the place where you're from and appreciating your culture and how it connects people. Whereas I think England is just as diverse, but even, or maybe more, who knows? But I think definitely just as diverse.
But it's diverse in certain areas.
We're all put in our areas, and it's about, and then experience is about how we interact with each other while we're in our own little boxes and places.
And then we're still Jewish over here, Asians over here, blacks over here.
Yeah. The integration isn't really in the same way how it is in the Jamaican culture.
That's really interesting.
Definitely.
I do get where you come from now. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's 2 totally different experiences. It's 2 experiences of the same thing, which is multiculturalism. Yeah. Don't know how we reached here.
I don't know how we reached here. Okay, so what does make sense to you?
What does make sense to me? A lot of things make sense.
Oh, really?
People
don't always say that.
A lot of things make sense in life.
Go on,
I'm not like a...
We can just have one. You don't need several.
No, that's a hard question, you know. Yeah,
No, it's not actually a hard question, Rtkal.
That's the hardest of all the questions you're probably going to ask me. How could I narrow down like so much?
It could just be one thing.
This makes sense. World boss being free, you get me. Vice cartels free. That makes sense to me, you get me.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, them are the kind of things that I like. You want to talk about things that make sense to me. Them are the kind of things that I like. Yeah, man. Vibes cartels free.
What does that make sense for you about? Because obviously, I don't know the whole full story about Vibes yet. I probably should do my research. But he did a couple things. Cool. He did his time, did his crime. Cool. Everybody's happy he's out. Because obviously, he's been such a crucial part of Jamaican culture from when I was young all the way up until now. I actually saw him perform at Mobo Awards.
Yeah, well, did you go there?
Yeah.
I didn't make it, I was away.
You should have gone, man.
Yeah.
You missed out. So him and Spice performed at Mobos. And it's just them old school tunes that your parents used to play. It's like, right, it gives you a level of...
That's our Bob Marley.
Right.
We can't change the fact that when we're old, this is the music that we're going to be listening to reflect on the golden years of our youth. That's never going to change.
With Vibes, there's been such a hype and stuff around him, which I think's amazing for him. Do you get what I mean? I know he suffered with a bit of thyroid condition, which is something that I experienced as well. But I'm happy for him that he comes out and he gets that love, support, guidance, all of that kind of stuff. And when he went on stage for Mobo Awards, the way everybody was just freaking out.
Energy.
Yeah, it was like Michael Jackson was on stage.
Yeah, man.
He
has that Michael Jackson.
But he has that Michael Jackson thing.
It's the bleach.
Yeah.
Please, mash up. Yo.
Do you think someone like him could continue to sustain, or do you think he could just do touring on his old music? Do you feel
he's a legend now? He's bigger than the music, I think. And he's crossed. I think the question was what makes sense. And I said Joe Killy, Cartel being free. And I said these are the kind of things that I'm into. But putting a more serious or a more realistic spin onto what I'm saying. Like, me personally, I'm fascinated by the underdog. Unapologetically the underdog, especially black men in situations and from environments where they're not even necessarily meant to survive. Their statistics, their numbers. There's a million Vibes Cartels. There's a million Mike Tysons. There's a million Michael Jordans. There's a
Right.
million, all of these people. All
Right.
of these are, the only thing that makes these people relevant to us is their genius. And their genius becomes so potent in society that
You can't stop greatness.
you can't stop greatness. And I think for what they represent, it made my hair stand up, it's actually a real thing to me. Like, what they represent for me is the voices of the voiceless. There's so many geniuses. There's so many geniuses like these people
that don't make it out.
They never ever make it out. And to watch these people go through and reach points of success, that inspires the next generation of youth that are in some really damning and crazy situations to say, actually, I could rise and be the greatest of all time. Like, Bob Marley, Vibes Cartel is one and the same in that sense for me, because it's like, even the name Marley is almost like a royal name. It's like Windsor in Jamaica.
Yeah.
That's greatness achieved in one generation.
Right.
Most people don't actually understand what the input has to be in order to create greatness in one generation. To put a family name into a space like that, it's going to cause pain. It's going to cause trauma. People might live, people might die, all these different things, but there is no great person, no great name from any culture anywhere who hasn't experienced the same levels of adversity to push their family and their honor to that place like that. So I kind of see, it's funny, I was having a debate with somebody on Instagram about Cartel when I was saying, yeah, Cartel's out. And somebody was saying, wow, Cartel is disgusting and he's a criminal and he doesn't represent Jamaica. And I had to explain to this lady that all of the national heroes of Jamaica, Paul Bogle, Nanny of the Maroons, Sam Sharp, they would all be criminals in their time.
Right.
There's good and bad in everything. There's pros and cons. And to actually understand the conditions of these people to where they reach their mentality. Yes, look at the negative side, but also are we aware that Carter has a published book in Oxford and Cambridge University? These are big things. These are things that
weren't offered to us all.
That wasn't offered to us all, that we never got to see. It's inspiration for me. And I want to see more of those underdogs. I like those glitches in the matrix.
I like
when they can't bottle our culture and control it in a way where it's only a commodity. It's our culture. It's what it is. It's history, it's tradition, it's griot. History,
it's tradition. Part of history, like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's part of that when we have kids.
Yeah,
this is Vibe, this is Michael, this is these people.
That'll inspire a generation. Cartel sings some beautiful songs as well. He's also got lots of negative songs, but we have to be careful of, you know what it is? There's so many stories that we hear as kids and we know them as stories, but we don't actually take the parable and the understanding of what that means. It's the Pied Piper. Pay the piper. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a man with no visa coming from the most. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't pay the piper. They play it like, it's the same old story, innit? And
that's crazy.
Yeah, man, I'm a true artist in that sense, so I can relate. I understand the mindset.
So for you as an artist, because I feel like you're kind of a little bit cross-genre a little bit. Don't really sit in.
No.
Because if I was a musician, I'd have a house track. I'd have a pop track.
Naturally.
I'd have because I like different versions and different genres of music.
I love music.
Right.
I love art.
Mm-hmm.
I love culture. I love people, experiences. I think there's something magical in the creation of like emotion, being able to evoke emotion in people. It's a very, very deep thing. And some people stumble upon it by accident. Some people study it. But it's probably the most important part of our day-to-day life. The food we eat, the music we listen to, the way we express ourselves through fashion, art, television, YouTube, all of these things. And I think for me, where I think some people see my thing as unique is that I kind of have a zoomed out perspective. I love it all. I love the culture of it. That's why it's interesting you said Mr. Culture, because and that's a blessing to hear that, because that is where I see there is a commodity side of it. there is a cultural side of it, and I try to express myself in a way that leans more towards the cultural side and the commodity, while still trying to take care of myself and feed myself like everybody else.
Of course, you have to drop in a couple of...
The preserving of the culture
yeah.
is my calling, me personally. That's how I feel.
Who kind of like was your inspiration to get into music?
My greatest inspiration in life was my grandmother.
I love that.
Never mind muse, just everything. She was, for me, she was like the Griselda Blanco kingpin of my family, who used the culture, used food, used art, used these things to keep people together, to create experiences for us to make do in a space that's a foreign place. Do you know what I'm saying? And so she's always been my greatest inspiration, just and she's also I call her my first manager, because my career started very, very young. My first experiences was as a child model.
Oh, Rtkal.
Yeah. So I used to run around a lot.
Show me your model face. Go.
What's it called? Blue Steel. Ben Stiller. Blue Steel. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Strike a pose.
Many, many moons ago. You get me? But yeah, that was my first. This is from the ages of 6, 7, and I was on the road with my grandma. I was doing like 3 to 4 days a week on the road. Like I've got loads of books, some catalogs and videos from catwalks. So I was kind of born into. I feel like I was born into it. As long as I've known myself, I've been involved in show business. My first record deal was at 12.
Wow.
With a guy called Robert Plant, who was a guitarist from Led Zeppelin. You know Led Zeppelin?
I think I've heard of them, yeah.
So Led's a big rock band.
Yeah.
I think they don't care. I think their big Stairway to Heaven. Got some big rock band, but that was one of my, at 12, I did a competition, won it, got this record deal.
Wow.
So my life's really just been based around music, man, and entertainment and vibes. And so I don't really know anything different. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I was to talk about inspiration, it'd have to go to the roots.
Because some people tend to say artists is their inspiration, and actually it's nice that you've got family members that have inspired you to be creative. Do you get what I mean? Because people ask me all the time, like, who inspired you to do presenting? Who inspired you? And I really can't think of one specific person who inspired me to be presenting, but I came from a creative family. My uncle plays the piano. My dad used to be a DJ. Do you get what I'm saying to you? My mom's side are quite entrepreneurship. So it's those combinations of, it's kind of in my DNA, babe.
Facts. Lyrics, for me, lyrics as a lyricist, like I'll always make music. I'll always write raps. I'll always write songs for people. I'll always be involved in music, because lyrics for me, it comes from the way how my family banter. It's a very, again, it's another Caribbean thing.
It is.
There's a skill. There's like how you have English banter.
Yeah. We call it shade now.
Shade, yeah. We have our own version of banter. We have our own version of banter where it's like, you got to be quick. You've got to be funny.
Savvy.
You've got to be sharp.
Yeah.
You have to have a sternness to you. Like, but there's a nuance to it. And the way we speak has always been training. It's even like Cartel. You listen to Cartel speak. That man rhyme everything. A normal conversation now, I'll be saying, a normal conversation now. You just don't know, find out how. Do you know what I mean? Like everything, we stay ready, because that's how life is. You understand what I'm saying? Life is music. Life is art. Life is, you know me, you come over to my studio. I'll be in my studio cooking for 20 people.
Yeah. Literally.
That's art to me.
Rtkal, no cap, right, spends so much time in his kitchen. I'm surprised he's got time to actually make music. Because I walk in, I'm always smelling food. I'm always like, you want me to go get a mango or something, or help out? You're always doing stuff in the studio. And
but that's the liberty.
You've created a space there. Big up Made in Brum. You've created a space. And obviously I knew the studio was there, but I don't think I went there. But then when I went there, for me anyway, like my creative juices were going. I reconnected with Birmingham people that knew me from New Style Radio. You know, Mosh did my theme tune for my podcast.
Yeah.
And it was you literally just like, Mel, come down to the studio, just do your thing.
Get it all done.
Just do your thing. And I'm like, what introduce me, Mel? Don't ask me questions.
Just do your
come
thing.
to the studio, do your thing. And now it's like, I can pop into the studio and sit in the studio with Triller.
Yeah, man.
And he's doing a little beat, or you know, hook up with Big Ass and then see Maddie and their man there. And it's nice to it creates that environment. I'm seeing a lot more younger people coming through
Yeah,
as well,
man.
like,
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
think is
yeah.
really positive.
And I'm trying to hold on to this, like, again, it's all kind of themed again. Like, it goes back to what inspired me as a kid. Like, Caribbean culture inspired. When I used to go to the studio as a youth, even in Jamaica, like when I first started, when I was a fan, before I was even involved in what I'm involved in, and I'm just looking in and I'm trying to get an experience. And they're the things that I fell in love with, in the sense of, if you're gonna make beautiful music, you need to make a beautiful environment. Like, let's cook some food. Let's put our energy into the food that we're gonna consume, and then let's, whatever it is you're gonna do after. If you're gonna drink a drink, if you're gonna do whatever it is, it's about sharing a space and creating that environment, so that when you're making music, when you're making art, you're doing it with the intention that you want to give it. If we're in this, like, I hated going to studios and it's like they're super sterile and clean and everything shiny and like medical white and
Yeah, I
like,
get that.
don't touch
I get
this
that.
and don't and don't put your drink over there, and you've got 1 hour, so get thinking now. Like, and for me, that was never ever like what inspired me. I fall asleep in the studio, I wake up and write. I need to. Music isn't music.
Should it be forced?
Number one, it should be forced, but I think the more that it's becoming a business, music is becoming for me, music isn't, I'm not talking about, I'm living my life and I'm expressing myself via music. I'm not talking about me. Music isn't what I do. Music, I am music. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to live before you can have something to even talk about.
And I suppose it's kind of similar for me as well. It's like, as much as I've been doing presenting for like 7 years now, I've always had this personality.
Yeah.
I've always been
It's
bussy
you.
jokes.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
I've always been at family functions.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Introducing the talent shows. Do
Yeah,
you get what I mean?
of
I always
course.
had that in
It's your
me.
personality.
Yeah,
You are the business, and you're making it, and you have to nurture that as well. The way how you deal with your environment and deal with yourself is what's going to either incubate that talent and that thing that people are attracted to, or it's going to dim it. Do you know what I mean? So you have to be really, like, conscious of how you create your environment around you when it comes to being creative.
And I think what I love about Made in Brum is you are really nurturing talent. I'm seeing the young boys in there. I'm seeing,
My brand's called the MBC. So we've been around since maybe about 6-7 years. My first space was in an old vault. It was in an old bank vault underground.
can't remember.
We did an event over there called Bashy Bass Weekend. We got a load of reggae eyes over there. So
Yeah, I think I remember that.
yeah, you was there.
Yeah,
I remember you being there.
yeah,
And we had
yeah.
like internet. We had Cali P there, Big Zeeks.
Big Z's, yeah.
I think Randy Valentine was there. Who else? Jevon, rest in peace.
Yes.
Knox Brown. So that was my first space, and then we moved the brand MBC over to the space that you know now, which houses brands such as Made in Brum underneath it. But again, the way how the family and the setting is set up, like, it's all one flag. It just like big
It's all one umbrella.
Trinidad them flying their flag. That's representing me. That flies my, like, is in my interest for them to. Do you understand what I'm saying? And vice versa. And do you know what I mean? And that's just the energy that I push.
And I think it brings people again together.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in Birmingham, I think we've had conversations about this before, about it's not as together as we would like it to be.
No.
And I was talking to Rtkal about, I've got to do everything. It's hard to find the right team. It's hard to get people on the team. And Rtkal was just like, but Mel, you can't do everything. Let the baby go.
Yeah, you go.
Go, let the baby stay at auntie's house. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, learn new
things. I remember we had a whole hour conversation about it. And I was just like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I've got to let it go. I've got to give other people the opportunity to contribute to the brand.
We don't know what we're up to. We don't know. It's like, you're doing this over here. I know about this because, like what you said, we cross paths because of the spaces that we share. So I get the opportunity to hear what you're up to and become excited about it.
Right.
And this is how a situation like this
But
manifests.
then if I'm not in those spaces.
But if you're not in those spaces, you're out of sight. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we don't know what we're all so close to each other around here, but nobody knows what anyone's doing.
Yeah.
And people are doing big things, like, internationally. Like, there's people that live in Birmingham, that leave Birmingham, and they go somewhere and they're a star. I've had that experience. I leave, and to be fair, I wouldn't want it any other way because I enjoy being in my home as my home, innit? But there's spaces that contrast of going to other places and somebody in Switzerland, for argument's sake, knowing what I had for breakfast because they're so interested. And then my mate over the road doesn't know what my greatest achievement was that I've done in the last 12 months is part of the struggle, the friction that I think that we have here. And
So then do you feel like we need to network more and we need to be in more creative spaces and we need to be more...
money. There's not enough money. I think it needs facilitating. I do what I do because that's me trying to do my little bit. It's nowhere near enough. But every mickle makes a muckle, do you know what I mean? So
every mickle make a muckle.
Yeah.
You're such a yardie.
So I try to do my little
The way
mickle.
he says it in a Birmingham accent. Every mickle make a muckle.
Every mickle make a muckle, yeah. So I try to do my little mickle.
But someone have to come and do the muckle.
And then I have to come and do them little muckle, is it?
Yeah.
But that's how I see it. And it's more of that, and the more people that get inspired to do that is the more that it will fix itself. But there is a deficit in the sense of Birmingham that there's no industry. You know what? I'll say something today. I don't know if I say it in a polite way. Yeah. I seen a Insta story post that went up today, and it was somebody saying it's unfortunate that there's so much talent in Birmingham right now, and there's such a small stream of opportunity to be productive within that. So people become this, and it was a really beautifully written and posted thing. And then when it got signed out, it was like, can somebody come and please fix this? And when I read it, I thought to myself, the person who wrote it is probably one of the most successful young black entrepreneurs in the city.
Right.
And my response would be, why don't you fix it?
Yeah.
And this energy of us being like, when's someone going to come and I want this? When's someone going to come and like, it doesn't exist.
We have to do it.
The Tooth Fairy is not real. Santa's not real. It's not happening. Do you know what I mean? And the people.
Maybe the Tooth Fairy might be real.
Don't tell my son that. Actually, no, tell him because he's been. I think it's like £10 a tooth these days. You get me, like this current economy. Do you know what I mean?
Before it's £1, now it's £10.
It's £10 a tooth. Inflation. But yeah, the truth of the matter is we have to fix it ourselves.
Yeah.
We're the only people that can fix it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we have to hold ourselves accountable to that.
But then I feel like it's hard to fix that when you're still creating and running your own brand. Like that's a lot. It's a lot. Like
It's not.
no, it is. Yeah, come on, it is. Like even with me, for example, yeah, I would love to do more stuff with presenters in Birmingham. I want to start exploring with public speaking and giving artists and people the opportunity to know how to tell their story when somebody asks a question, because there's a lack of, I want to have certain people on my show and I want to interview them, but I know you're not going to portray yourself the way that you need to best for your brand. Not necessarily you might say something wild or something like that, because that doesn't matter. Say what you want to say, but can you tell a story that's going to connect with your audience? Can you go that little bit deeper so people connect not only with your music, but also connect with you as a human?
Some people are just boring.
We don't want a boring guy. We don't want a boring wine.
It is sad.
Yeah,
You see, because music
but not
and
everybody has to be bored. Everyone's got a story though. This is the
art
thing.
is oversaturated. This is why I said it's not. Is why from my perspective, why I disagree is that I believe that with the commodification of our culture, the industry is now oversaturated with people that might not even necessarily love the culture that they work in, or even,
they just love the music.
Or they might be good at business, or they might, whichever way is like that, or they might think it's a good way to make money, or their friend might be involved in it, so they've got an opportunity to do it. But because it's such a booming business now, we can all upload onto Spotify, we can all be a social media star. Everybody has an opportunity to now be a part of what used to be a side product of making good art. You can skip the art now and go straight to the business and the celebrity and the blah, 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 whichever way is like that. And the truth of the matter is, I was saying this to some artists the other day. I was just saying, like, some people, number one, some people are just boring. If you live your life in a boring way, when you rap your song telling me your story, I'm probably not going to want to hear it because it's going to be a boring story. today I woke up, I had cornflakes, or like, and that doesn't mean you're not good at what you do, or you technically don't have the skills to do what it is. But it's, why do I want to support you? What are you giving me? And when you're saying about this, how it's hard to run a business at the same time, the way how I look at my business as an artist, this was a conscious decision when I was about 23. I kind of done a lot, I'd already signed my deal, done this, done that, blah, 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 blah. And I was a bit disenchanted by the music industry. And I decided, me going forward in my career, it's about, if I'm a big artist, it's about, why, if you're giving me your money, what am I doing with your money? Are you giving me your money and I'm going in my video and saying, I'm rich, I'm going to take a gal and look what I've got, and you ain't got this, and rare, and you're the person who's actually, your attention and your money is what's funding me to be here? Or am I getting this support, whether it's energetically, financially, whichever way? What can I do with it to give back to you, to make you continue to actually support me? What role am I playing in my community? And I think that's what's being lost within this industry, especially around here. We're not giving back. There is no reason to support these kids. Like, a lot of the stuff what they're doing, it's about how much I can take, in
And how much
opposed to
I can give.
if I had the if you supported me, if you elected me as your voice, here's how I could represent you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what hip hop, reggae music, dancehall, our culture has always been about. When you hear about Bounty Killer, it's Bounty Killer, the ghetto governor. The people them know what the man's about. When you hear about Cartel, the man's going around doing X amount of charity work right now. He's gave away millions since he's been out of jail.
Wow.
What we do, even like big up Drop Top. We've got a wicked label in Jamaica, but
Big up Drop Top.
big up Drop
Jojo.
Top. And Jojo, you get
Yeah,
me?
man.
I
Yeah,
watch
man.
them do big giveaways,
Yeah,
big give backs.
really? Wow.
Every year they do
Wow.
things, and even just on a day-to-day basis, people don't see the energy that people put into being the people that they are to be in those spaces. That's the quiet part. They see the glory, they don't really see the story.
It makes me question then, is it more of a UK thing than...
Our culture's mean. We have a mean culture.
Do you think?
Yeah, our culture's mean.
It's a bit like, I'm going to keep this all to myself. I don't want to bring this person in because they might outshine me. Yeah, but does that stem from like only one person can pop at the time?
It's bossy slavery in England right now.
Wow.
You're in captivity, but you're bossy acting like we're all grinding, trying to like that and walking. When we again, when I went to yard, I remember one year I went to a couple of years ago. I was sitting there doing my thing. One of my friends was like, "Yo, so I go on in England," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, England's lit." Is that what? You like drink Hennessy and that out there? I'm like, "Yeah, man, you get me buy Hennessy. You drink champagne?" I'm like, "You never drink champagne, you go drink champagne. What, you buy Gucci and Louis Vuitton shoes?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I got a couple pairs. You get me?" You know, he goes like that. He goes, "You got a house yet?" But no. It's like, do you live anywhere? Do you have one in Jamaica? Do you know how much it costs to buy land over here?
Yeah.
Do you know how much it costs to buy land over? And that's where a lot of the people that are coming, it's us that are born here that are losing the most. We are at the bottom of the pile because we feel the most comfortable and the most entitled, like we're chilling and we've got all the time in the world. And
when actually we need to be buying land, we need to be going across here.
Yo, the yard man, them are buying land. They're running bit like we can walk around Digbeth right now. Yeah. I would say the majority of the black-owned businesses around here are Jamaicans. And that's in Digbeth.
Really?
Yeah. We can walk around to Simone's hairdressers over there. We can walk to Blue Tick over there. We can walk down the road to the other hairdressers.
That's true.
We can go over the road to PST. We can go to
Yeah.
Blue Marlin. We can go to True Spice. We can go to their shop next
that's
door.
true.
Where are the black professionals on the high street who are born here?
That is so interesting. Do you feel like we've just got caught up into that frame of mind of working, and let's take our pension and be good with that, rather than let's own, let's build, let's create more opportunities?
I can't say too much because I find...
Because some people are bossy. You are right in what you're saying.
It's bossy
man out
poverty.
here will have Gucci,
It's bossy poverty.
trainers, and he's got a hole in the
Don't
sink.
own nothing. The yard man, they think, yeah, yard man, you come over. He owns his house in Jamaica. This is his second life.
Yeah.
This is the second life. This is the bonus round. You're out here working and grafting and buying up houses, and people don't get it. We don't get it. We've kind of lost yeah, that's what doesn't make sense. These are the things that don't make sense to me. My grandmother, like a lot of us, because of lack of education, not even just non-black people, but black people also, when they think about their experience in Britain, they're like, yeah, I'm here because of, slavery happened and this, and that's bullshit. That ain't what happened. If you're a Caribbean person, your grandparents had enough money to get on a boat, come here, balls and gore, and cared about you and your future enough to get on a boat, cross the world, yeah, start a whole life, yeah, in a racist country, hold it down, buy houses, do all these different things. And we've squandered a lot of it in a generation. And we're sat here in England saying, okay, what's the economy? How many of us have the goal to jump on a plane right now and go and start a new life somewhere different for the sake of our future kids?
I would do that.
Man.
100%. Like 100%. I
Not saying that we have to,
No,
but
I get that.
It's a perspective.
But then I feel like I'm kind of a different kettle of fish, personally. Not toot my own horn or anything, but I get on with all kinds of people.
Yeah.
I can build tribes wherever I go. I've done bare solo holidays. Do you get what I mean? Where I've been to Morocco and I've got a driver within the first day. Do you get what I mean? I got someone that's got to take me to the clubs. I've got my girl over there to take me to a spa. Even when I went to Jamaica, I had a nighttime driver, a daytime driver. My mum was staying in the hotel.
Watch this. Let me. All right, watch this. Let me show you something. And this will be a lot of people's situation. Yeah, my grandmother and grandfather were married before they came to this country. My grandmother came on her own, yeah, as a married woman, yeah, and came here, set up business with my dad, done her thing, and sent for him and brought him over here, yeah. Imagine that scenario today. Imagine me going.
I reckon I could
imagine
do that.
me going, yo, love, you're going to go over there, yeah? You're going to go grind it out with the youth, yeah? And then you're going to send for me. These are the values that we've lost. There's reasons for certain things. And because we're not being practical with what it is that we do, we can't see the reasons for certain things. So consequently, we're falling apart.
But then is everyone capable of doing that? Cause some man ain't even got a passport article. Some man ain't even got on a plane yet. We're actually quite privileged that we've been on a good couple. And also, I feel like you've got a connection with Jamaica. You've got a connection to Barbados. Whereas I wouldn't say I really have that connection in Jamaica with my family like that. I don't, if I'm being real with you. However, I could build those connects quite quickly.
Yeah, you gotta build them.
Just based on who I was. Like, when I was in Jamaica, Mum was like, don't go out, curfew. I says, Mum, I'm in Jamaica. Don't call me Melissa, call me Shelly Ann. Right? Call me Shelly Ann. Yeah. Right? I'm not English. I'm from Brownstown. All right? And I was on a solo holiday and I left them in the hotel.
And it's changed as well. It has changed recently.
Right.
It still has its problems.
People don't feel like they're safe as well.
There's a generation of people, especially like when you say you're third generation, there's a first set of generation of people that left a very different place. Totally. When they didn't go back.
Yeah.
Some because they never got the chance. Some because they didn't want to. Some people did go back. But there's a set of people that I find that their ideologies of what they think back home still is so far off.
Yeah. Because they feel, it's unsafe, and I'm like, yeah, I get that. But
There's me and you are sat down right now doing the same thing, but just in a place they're indigenous to. Do you know what I'm saying? And there is something great about that like people look at it in different ways, but I think there is something great about never leaving and still being all right.
And still surviving.
Do you know what I mean? We left and a lot of people are kind of struggling. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and we have to read and we have to remember what it is that we're doing and why we're doing it. And it doesn't mean there's a right or wrong, because there isn't. It's just about being conscious of where we're at and what we're doing and what we want out of life as well.
Yeah.
Individually and as a set of people.
And I think for me, I'm definitely going to need to live in a country that's hot for 6 months out of the year. I don't think personally I could stay here forever and ever, full 12 months. I'm putting it out there for my husband that's watching. We need
Dead right. Yo, dead right.
Like, I'm going to need to do 6 months in another country.
Yeah.
Because it's just that sun, just that power of just, I felt like home. I felt like I was at home. I didn't feel there's no racism that I've got to think about first and foremost, because everybody looks like me. Do you get what I mean? It's that one less thing that I don't have to worry about. You know, because I was actually talking to someone about this the other day. Like, I was talking about what's pro-Black, what's non-pro-Black, and what's Pan-Africanism. And actually, where we're here and where we're based, it's almost very difficult to be pro-Black. Whereas somewhere in Jamaica, everyone's naturally Black, so you can naturally work with.
It's not even a conversation.
Right.
Like, I share the same. Remember, I got Japanese friends, Chinese. My family are Syrian.
Yeah, I got Chinese in mine as well.
I got Chinese family, I got Syrian family. It doesn't matter. We're not, like, it's still a pro-Black conversation, or it's a pro-Jamaica. It's past the
Is it a
Black.
pro-change?
It's pro-change. It's about the culture you want to live in, innit? I learned something the other day. It said the difference between maybe the two different environments that we're talking about. The kind of environment that we live in is called a monochronic environment.
Mhm.
And when you're monochronic, if that's the correct, I believe it's the correct word, monochronic is about the exchange of your time for productivity. So everything here is based on us swapping our time for things. I'll give 6 hours, I get a sofa, another 6
Right.
hours, I get a TV. You know, but like and then you've got polychronic societies where it's about multiple things that actually measure your productivity, your relationships, your freedom that you've got, the way you actually spend your time, how you work. We're having a great conversation right now. Am I going to stop this conversation, which is helping me to go and do something else because I'm bound to? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I find that our generation, because we're the only ones to really grow up in it.
Eating, yeah.
Yeah, from scratch. We haven't got Caribbean parents that have got, like, we grew up in it. If your parents were here, and a lot of us are making the decision saying, this isn't for me. And it's not all about, and again, it's not about going back to Jamaica. It's not about going back to Africa. It's about going wherever you feel comfortable in the world. Like, we're
Yeah, 'cause
global
I mean,
citizens.
good couple of Black people are going to Thailand.
Man.
China's a spot. I mean, a lot of different spots as
Go
well at the
where you
moment.
feel comfortable,
Gambia.
man. Yeah.
No, I hear
Gambia's
that.
beautiful.
I
spent a lot
hear
of time
that.
there.
Yeah. Because I feel like Western society's just changed a lot.
Switzerland. I love Switzerland.
I've heard it's beautiful out there.
Yeah. There's some nice places. There is some nice places.
And basically, articles saying don't stay in England because it's not.
No, I'm not
He's saying don't stay in England because this ain't the spot. This ain't it.
I'm
Now,
saying,
but we're starting to become.
get in where you fit in.
Yeah, but we're
Some people
starting to
fit
become.
in here. The reason why I'm saying that,
Yeah,
some people,
I get that.
some people's culture, doesn't matter if you're same color as me or different color or whichever way, is that some people's culture is this. And I'm happy for them. And they should enjoy their experience. But be happy for me finding what it is that.
Article go and leave us, God, so man, me nah go catch
Nah,
you.
man, I'm there, man. I can't leave it. I told you I'd leave Britain, but I'd never leave Birmingham.
Change of subject a little bit here. So tell us a little bit about your experience of working with Punch. I know we've spoken a little bit about infrastructure in Birmingham. We've spoken a little bit about creating opportunities. Kind of like, what's your experience of working with them now?
I could only speak as a collaborator and a customer of Punch. To be fair, Punch Records is a long time business that's been running for ages, that even I kind of came up from. I started working there when I was 15. Me and Emma was laughing, saying, it's like, I've known you since you was 15. I was like, what's going on?
Big up Ammo.
Yeah, big up Ammo, man, and big up everybody over there. They've got this wicked symphony thing coming up as well. Yeah, which is dope. And also the Legacy book and the Legacy film.
Yes, the Legacy film was really good. That was at Millennium Point, wasn't it?
So big up Punch. Punch have been doing some really cool stuff. What I can speak on is Parlay, which is like
the record label, isn't it?
Yeah. That's which is a separate entity, which does kind of cross over into what Punch has going on and crosses over into what I have going on over there. But yeah, Parlay is a record label that we've kind of just built as a reflex to some of the problems we've been speaking about in this situation here. Like, where are the platforms that artists can go to? How do we add value onto our own culture and make value from what we create and what's ours, instead of having to outsource everything? Also adding value from home as well, instead of people like, I laugh, but like, we're working with like people like Trappy and Driz right now.
Love
Yeah, of
Trappy.
course we love Trappy, of course we love Driz. And it's interesting because even them, look at the great success that they've found on Pen Game.
Yeah, man. They've been
now people want to rock with them. Now people want to. I've been working with them lads from
way back when. Known
Do you know what I
for
mean?
years. Yeah.
We need to be able to add value
To them
onto our own artists without other people
having to come in and say, "Here, I'll take this." Yeah.
So
I actually saw Trappy at the Red Bull Clash, which he won, and I was just like, where the fuck do you get all of your energy from? Like the amount of energy he has of like capturing a crowd was just completely different to everybody else on stage.
Passion, man.
It's the passion. And for me, not only am I an energy person, but I'm also looking at not only your lyrics and the beat and all of that stuff. I'm looking at the passion. I'm looking at how you're drawing people in. I'm looking at how the audience are reacting. I'm looking at how you move from that speaker to jump over to that speaker. Nobody was standing on speakers. But Trappy's just, and he just made you want to love him more.
Yeah. I think, again, goes back to what we said earlier about artists and some people being boring and some people not boring.
Yeah.
And I think...
Me know when I'm boring, yeah.
Me seeing an artist like him, what always drew me to... What makes a good artist for me is what you do away from the microphone, you know? Like, what do you actually do? Who are you? Like, away from this character that you've built, that you're trying to sell me something via. Who actually are you in that essence? And he's a brother that I've seen putting on shows, like incubating for his friends, being like paying footing the bill for things that ain't successful yet, feeding people in his community, running community, like the stuff that I see him do away from his actual music lets me not have to worry about
him
as an artist. You're always gonna have something to rap about. You're always gonna have a self-esteem about yourself to be able to go and do that thing. And I think the more you enter into that space as an artist, in the sense of who am I as a person, stronger your music is the more people will connect with you as well.
Of course.
Connect with authenticity.
I'm really, really eager to yawn.
Can I just say? Yeah, can I just say?
No.
I landed back yesterday. No,
we're keeping that in. No, disrespect. The man yawned.
No.
Am I boring you?
No.
Are you all right?
No.
Are you all right? Are you
Melzy,
enjoying the conversation? Or
Melzy invited me here, and I said yes straight away. Regardless of the hours time, actually sat me on this very comfortable sofa with fluffy pillows and everything around me. Yeah, so excuse the yawn. It's not because I'm bored.
He's jet lagged. He's just come off Jamaica. So tell us a little bit about the legacy event, because I feel like that concept of, I'm a creative first and foremost, you know. Obviously I love grand music, but I love live bands. Like I love production. It's my thing. How do you feel those elements are going to work?
I think they'll work amazingly. The reason why I think they'll work amazingly is because I think we've reached a place in our history. One of the greatest things, I'm not gonna do a Christopher Columbus and say I discovered Birmingham grime by any measure, but over the lifetime that I've lived, I've watched the genre be born,
of course,
and grow and become something. And then this is something that started off with us in youth clubs, in derelict spaces, in pirate radios, in these spaces doing something literally just for the love. There was never ever any prospect of making money from this thing.
Or social media or this or
none
that.
None of it. We never
get me up on the beat, man. My turn. I've wrote my 16 bars.
We've done it because that's how we defined who we was. That was what we did like as people. It was literally just self-expression. And even last year, I'm lying, this is a couple of years back now. I remember being in lockdown. I remember sitting there and looking at Wagwan, and I was going, wow. I was going, Roxanne is the face of Swarscroft. Millions is the face of Burberry and Clark's. I've just got to sync with Grand Theft Auto. This one's doing that. Mystery's doing every Pepsi advert that's going on, boy, better know. This one, Lady Leisha's dancing on ice and doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm going,
Melzy J is going to be doing Fenty Beauty. And all them type of thing there. Just speaking of active existence.
But this is real stuff.
Yeah, real stuff.
I never ever believed. No, I did. Part of me believed, but then there was more doubt.
You didn't think it would go this
I didn't
far.
think I'd see it in my lifetime. I didn't think that I would still be
beautiful,
young and fresh enough to still be a part of.
Isn't it? Young and fresh.
Thing. You know what I'm saying? Like how many years does it take for a genre to kick off? And I think we haven't fully appreciated the journey yet. And
Okay.
this legacy project, for me, why it attracted me and I gave my energy to it, is it's the first step of us consecrating something very great that we've done for ourselves. This shouldn't be the only event.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the only book. That can't be the only film.
Yeah.
You can't fit
Because I
everything
think
into
even
one.
with the film, it really showed you how far people had actually come.
Yeah.
That you forget about.
You forget about it. There's people that I think the one thing that we never did, I can't say we never did it right because it is what it is. And it
Never
brought
had
us
the
to where we are.
opportunity to.
Yeah, the one thing we never had the opportunity to,
Mhm.
is the difference between early London grime and Birmingham's grime history is regardless, their music was still being released.
Right.
Whether it was on white label, whether it was little labels investing money, whether it was whichever way it is like that. Our music literally existed on phones, computers,
CDs.
Bluetooth, you're
Yeah.
sending it CDs,
Yeah.
you're sending it
The
through
old
MSN,
school way of
you're
sending.
listening to it on pirate radio. There was
Yeah.
none
It's
of it.
underground.
None of it was on the scoreboard. So none of this you can go back and say, like,
It happened.
and I can get people's frustration because in the ends, people went platinum 20 times over. Do you know what I'm saying? But it can never be measured in the way how other people's success can be measured. And that is unfortunate. And we have to do the due diligence of making sure that they don't get lost to history. We don't get lost to history.
I love
with
that.
Do you know what I mean? So we have to do the right things. And anyone that knows me, especially working around my role around being around these brands like Parlay Punch, even my own brand, MBCs, I'm an open book. Like, I'm for the culture. I'm here to learn. I'm here for people to, do you know what I'm saying? I'm here for the discourse. I'm here to, do you know what I mean? I'm not running away from the discourse. I'm here to know how do we
come together.
How do we come together and define
I love
this
that.
thing,
You
man?
really are Mr.
You know what I'm saying?
Culture, aren't you?
Am I real?
You really are Mr. Culture. Mr. Culture.
Man, it's a real thing though, man. It's a responsibility. And I think that's where I do love this place. And that's where I do, regardless of how I can feel about this and that in England or whichever way, that's where I try and make an effect that's positive, that can
Of course.
potentially change things, you know what I mean? And we've all got a role to play. That's just a tiny little
All
piece
got
of
a
it.
role to play with it.
It's a grain of sand on the beach, isn't it?
How exciting. Right, so we're going to play a little game.
A Melzy J game. This is going to be good. Yeah. Remember, I know you know.
This is kind of like Would You Rather game, okay? Would you rather never eat plantain again
Yeah.
or never listen to Bashment music again?
Never eat plantain again.
Really?
Mm.
Okay, cool. You okay? Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Would you rather lose a leg or lose your hearing?
Oh my God. These are dreadful. Lose a leg or lose my hearing?
Think about it.
Lose a leg.
Yeah?
Yep. I can still hop
You
in the
would-
dance. I'd be hopping around the place, you know. I would. That would work. No, that would work. That would work. I'd make that work for me. Here's another fact. My granddad had one leg.
Did he?
Yeah. And I probably shouldn't say this, but he lied and told everyone that he lost it in the war. It was actually a farming accident. He used to make a bag of money off it.
Did he?
Yeah, he said he was in the war and lost his leg.
Okay.
So that would be quite natural.
Would you rather never create music again or never go to Jamaica again?
Never go to Jamaica again.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather make music or develop artists?
It's a good question.
I know. My question's Melzy J, innit? I'm about this life.
Different hemispheres in my brain, you know.
I know.
They're
why
they're both relevant.
Don't worry.
Would I rather never make music again or help? I will go with I will never make music again because I can live my life vicariously through others, and I've done that part.
Love that. Love that. Would you rather have unlimited access to all the best studio equipment but no internet, or have average equipment but fast internet
Fast
access?
internet. I need the internet, man. No, I need the internet.
This is going to be the hardest one.
Yeah.
Would you rather cut off your dreads
Oh Lord, God.
or never smoke weed?
Can I take a shot? Is it like I take a shot?
We should have had a shot
Is
here.
there a take a
You
shot
have
option?
to choose one.
Oh Lord, copper dreads or never smoke weed again. Never smoke weed again.
You sure?
Yeah, never smoke weed again.
Then cutting off your dreads?
Yeah,
Okay.
for that reason. I'm not saying I would, like if I had to cut my hair, but I'm saying for that reason. If it was like like, you know what I mean? That's like some drug thing, you get me? Like,
Imagine what man says.
yeah, come down the chest like that, yeah. Yo,
It's the last time you're rolling.
yeah. Yeah, enough of that. That's enough of them European Rastaman still. You get me? I used to that.
Yeah, man, me, I keep the weed, man.
Keep the weed, man. Keep the weed. Left, so that's it. Yeah, man.
Left. Ja.
No. Yeah, never smoke weed again.
Would you rather only be able to eat one meal for the rest of your life or only be able to listen to one song for the rest of your life? And the meal is just going to be rice and peas and oxtail for the rest of your life.
Oxtail, that's terrible.
Okay. What's your favourite Jamaican meal?
My favourite meal? Can't tell you that, you know, because that's what kind of wickedness is that? You get me?
Tell me. What do you like to cook? You like to cook a lot of fish.
Yeah.
Okay, Escovitch fish, breadfruit.
Escovitch fish from Elsha Beach with the festivals.
Okay, if you ate that all day, every day.
I could eat that every day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great, good for you. But would you rather eat that every single day and smell like a fishy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because your whole body...
And I'd probably die. And I'd probably like that's so unhealthy to eat that every day.
Listen to one song for the rest of your life.
What would be the song?
Yeah, what would be the song?
Barrington Levy, The Vibes Is Right.
Sing it for me.
Definitely can't sing that.
Hum it.
Cool, it's like a jazz song.
I probably know it.
I could play it to you. It's like a jazz song. You won't know this song.
I won't know it. Okay.
Maybe you might. Anyone that knows me will know this song because I play it at the start of every set that I've ever performed. It's from when I've known this song. But one of the baddest songs ever. But Barrington Levy, I could listen to that song every single day of my life.
Okay. We can have the intro in that.
This is the captain's private stock.
Captain Culture's private stock.
Captain Culture's private stock.
Private stock.
Yo, pull up that. You get her.
Okay.
Now.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to get in my feels, you get me?
Yeah,
sorry, go on.
don't get in your feels. I don't know that song, I'm sorry.
No.
Jamaicans, don't be mad at me, but I do know who that artist is, okay?
You know Barrington Levy.
Yeah, Barrington. Yeah, man. So, you've not answered my question yet, just say
Which one?
You digress.
No, I'd have to.
Are you listening to that song?
Forever.
That's
it. And I can get a different food.
Okay, this game is funnier than I thought.
It's ridiculous.
Would you rather live without your phone for a month or live without music for a month?
Live without my phone.
He really loves his music.
I've done that already. I hate my phone.
I know.
It's like a crying baby.
Ding, shut up. I get it. Would you rather always have to wear the same outfit every day for the rest of your life or always have to eat the same meal every day?
I'd wear the same outfit every day.
Are you going to wash it?
I'm going to have to. Again, remember, I'm a Caribbean man, you get me? I'll be hand washing.
Little bucket. I book it with a Lenore. Lenore bits in there, that's what.
With the sun in the water, you have to make the noise.
Yeah. Would you rather only be able to listen to UK music for the rest of your life or only Jamaican music?
That's a hard one.
I know.
That's not very fair.
I know.
All right. I'm going to say UK music. I'd rather listen to UK music for this reason.
I'm shocked
you're saying this one reason.
Revoking passport, Jamaica. Revoke it.
For this one reason, yeah. The reason why I say that is because in UK, we've got a more diverse.
Correct.
So we've got UK dancehall, we've got UK reggae, we got
true that
grime, we got drum and bass, we got this, we got that. So I'd get more variety.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was listening to Jamaican music only, I'm only gonna get dancehall or reggae.
Yeah, true that.
You see me?
See, you're a two-step or a
big up
two-wide.
Dizzy, yo, I found an artist out there you called Dizzy, big up a youth named Dizzy. Yeah, another
Dizzy.
you called Third World, yeah. And they are Jamaican, like they do like grime.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. They like and they do like drill and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, man. So yeah, man, I'd maybe get a little bit from them.
Article, it's been such a pleasure
It's been fun.
having you today. It's been so
been
much
fun.
fun. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
like we should have done a part 2 because there's still so many questions I didn't even get a chance to ask you.
We ain't even
And
on
I
the
knew this
juicy
was going to
bits.
happen. I'd have a set of questions and meaning will just be chatty patty because this is literally what we like at the studio.
That's
We
it.
literally
That's
just
it. That's it.
have these random deep conversations.
Only you can call me out for them kind of podcasts.
Me know,
you
darling. Me
Because,
know. Me know.
Is it?
Because I create that safe space.
That's it.
Isn't
It's a safe space. Yeah.
It's a safe space, and
It's a
people
safe
know
space,
I'm
it's
not. I'm not going to be on no uckery.
Blink twice if you're okay. Need help? Blink.
No, seriously. Thanks for taking your time out.
Thank you for having me.
Really love everything that you're doing at the moment. Love you even bringing me into the
And
studio.
big up you and thank you for finally putting this podcast together. We need you doing this. You've got your links and your connections and we need your energy, man. We need you here doing this, man. So, yeah, man, I'm grateful for you to bring me in so early as well, man. So
I appreciate
big
it
up.
because you remember when I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. I was talking about it for years. Years.
That's it, for real. Now we're here, man.
Yeah. And I'm so glad it's going really well. Here comes another yawn.
There wasn't a yawn.
What was that?
What was
it?
Not to belch on air, to be honest. Since
You know
we're
them- you know
since we're going to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Let's get it out there.
You know them granddad belts?
Yeah.
Where can people find your article? Where can people find all of your stuff?
Article and everything at Rtkal across all platforms. Yeah, man. NBC Studios, House of Made in Birmingham Studios, and also other studios in Nino. Don't forget anybody. There's so many people that you can book over there. So check us out online. Come and link us up in the flesh if you're someone that's interested in doing his own music and them kind of thing there, recording. Plus that, we're there. I will be on the road soon again, man. About to drop some music, man. So look out for that.
Thank you so much for joining us on Make Sense with Melzy. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did with my homeboy Rtkal. I'll see you soon. Bye.